Full story. The goddess and the giant snakes. Once upon a time in ancient Egypt, after the tragic murder of Osiris by his brother Set, the land was thrown into chaos. Set took over the throne, ruling as a tyrant. Isis, mourning her husband's death, took her infant son Horus and fled to the marshes of the Nile Delta to hide from Set's wrath. She knew that Set would not spare Horus, as he was destined to avenge his father and claim the throne of Egypt. Isis found a secluded spot in the papyrus swamps where she raised Horus in secret. However, her peace was short-lived. Set, learning of their whereabouts, sent his minions to search for them. One day, he summoned two giant serpents, Apep and Nehebko, to slither through the marshes and hunt them down. The serpents, immense and menacing, left destruction in their wake. They slithered through the reeds, their scales glistening with a dark, magical aura. As they approached the hiding place of Isis and Horus, Isis knew she had to act swiftly to protect her son. Calling upon her magical abilities, Isis crafted powerful incantations. She drew symbols in the sand and spoke ancient words that echoed through the marshes. The ground shook, and the waters around her began to bubble and steam. The serpents closed in, but Isis did not falter. With a flick of her wrist, she summoned a wall of flame that encircled her and Horus. The serpents hissed and recoiled, but they were not so easily defeated. Apep, the larger of the two, raised its head and spat a jet of venomous smoke, attempting to suffocate the goddess. Isis countered by summoning a gust of wind that dispersed the smoke. She then transformed herself into a giant cobra, her scales shimmering with divine power. The serpents lunged at her, but she was too quick. With blinding speed, she struck at Nehebko, her fangs glowing with magical energy. Nehebko was paralyzed, its massive form collapsing into the marshes. Apep, seeing his brother fall, coiled back in fear. But before he could retreat, Isis returned to her human form, raising her hands to the sky. Lightning crackled around her, and she unleashed a torrent of energy that struck Apep, shattering his body into pieces. The threat was eliminated. The marshes fell silent, and the winds calmed. Exhausted but victorious, Isis knelt beside her sleeping son. She knew that this was not the last challenge they would face, but she was determined to protect Horus until he was old enough to fulfill his destiny. From that day on, the marshes of the Nile were guarded by the spirit of Isis. No serpent, no creature of darkness, dared to enter her domain again. Her magic protected the land, and she continued to raise Horus in safety, knowing that one day, he would rise to challenge Set and restore balance to Egypt.